So today's project is going to be installing this Haloview BT7 observation system. It includes a rear view camera for the back of the RV. It includes 2 side marker cameras so we can see down the side of our RV as we're going down the road or backing into a campsite. So Haloview did send us this camera system to install and review, and that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to go ahead and open up the box here and see what we got and lay everything out. Obviously some instructions. We have the monitor, some hardware. This will be the extra antenna in case we need this. We have a mount for the monitor in the dash. Probably won't use that. This is the sun shield for the monitor. We have the cigarette lighter that can power the monitor. We have some other wires here, which I'm not quite sure yet what it is. This is pairing cable. So I'm just gonna lay this stuff out and look at the directions. We have another kind of bracket for the monitor. Over here we have a bag full of antennas. We have the mount and the gasket for the back camera. We have a bunch of wire nuts, some screws, some hardware, and let's see. This is the housing and the camera for the back. And under here, we have the side marker cameras. If I can get them out, okay. And that looks like everything. Kind of lay everything out, and then I'm gonna go through the directions and just make sure I have a game plan as how I'm gonna hook all this up. Hopefully it's not gonna be very hard, as our RV is pre-wired for Furrion. I know some of you out there have asked if the Haloviews can be interchanged with the Furrion preps that some of these RVs come with, and that's what we're gonna find out today. All right, so the first thing I wanna do here is try to get this old Furrion housing off and see what I'm working with underneath wire-wise. And like I said, hopefully this is a painless process. I do think that it has a connector underneath that's proprietary to Furrion, and I'm sure the Haloview is proprietary to its own Haloview system. So I probably will have to cut some wires, I'm thinking, and splice in the actual connector to the Furrion. I mean to the Haloview, I'm sorry. I'm gonna save these screws because I may be reusing these. Okay, so I got this off. That was a little bit of a challenge because these screws were filled with sealant, making it hard to get a good bite on it. So I'm not sure if I'm going to reuse these screws or not. I don't know, the heads may be a little stripped out on them now, but I got it off and I see the wiring here. I may not have to cut into this. These are using the little easy clamp ones, so if I can get these out, I'll get a pair of needle nose, pull these out. If I can get them out, I won't have to cut this. Okay, here's those. All right. I have my connector for the Haloview cut down to size, so because they gave me a lot of cable here, I didn't need that much. The green wire I'm not going to use because I'm not going to set up the trigger. I don't feel like I need that, so I just stripped back the black and the red wires a little bit. The red wire is going to go to, obviously, I guess the same place that the red and black wire is going here, which is to the green, red, to the white goes black. So I'm going to go ahead and take these loose, red into green, and the ground black into the white. And that's in there. Okay, so I'm just going to clean this up real quick and get ready to basically mount the other one back in here, the new one back in here. Okay, so the directions weren't super clear on this, but originally I thought that this was going to be coiled up and put inside of here, but there's not room for that. So this apparently is going to have to be coiled up and put inside the RV, which I am not sure I have enough room to do that. This is going to be a little tricky, I think. I may have to end up drilling this hole out just a little bit larger, which I don't like doing. Or I may have to shorten this wire down a little bit. I may have to end up sawing out just a little bit more here just to get this piece to fit in there. I'd rather not. All right, so this is obviously the biggest issue, is trying to get this video connector cable inside the RV. I'm having to drill a couple extra little holes here, I don't know if you can see, just to be able to get that video connector to fit in this opening. And once I did that, it's I think we're pretty much ready to, almost ready to mount it back up into the holes here. Get one of these screws in here, get it started. Luckily all the holes line up, so I don't have to drill any new holes for mounting the actual camera. So that's nice. After putting a couple of the screws that came with the Haloview, I have decided to go ahead and use all the new hardware. These screws that came with the kit are stainless steel and a little bit bigger diameter, so they're really biting on even tighter than the ones that I took off. Now this does have a rubber grommet around it. Probably would be fine not to caulk it, but I will go back, you know, tomorrow or whenever and run some caulk around it. It ain't like we have to worry about rain right now. We haven't had rain in, I don't know, it's been a while. Okay, so I do have it installed. I have the antenna on, if you can see. I'm going to just use that antenna to start with. She did send a extension antenna because of the length of our rig, which I may need to use, I may not, we'll see. But I think for now, before I do the side cameras, I think I'm going to go ahead and back the truck up, hook the truck up, and test it out and see if we actually get signal. All right, so we have a working rear camera. I just went ahead and hooked up the monitor just to the cigarette lighter for now. I am going to hardwire this. I just wanted to test it to see if it's working, and it's working. And the picture quality is great. Love it. Now I'm going to probably adjust it just a little bit more upward. I would rather see a little bit further behind me than I would straight down. And we'll test it out that way. Now onto the side cameras, and hopefully those go in without any issue. So I may have not had audio at one point when I was wiring this side camera up, but I will say it was actually very easy. The Haloview itself had two wires wired together for the positive, two wires wired together for the negative, and it had the turn signal trigger switch, which I did not use. Turns out that it'd be a little bit more wiring than I want to do, and it's not that big a deal. All right, so inside the truck, we got our 7-inch monitor and 3 camera views here. Everything is working as it should. So happy, the image is so clear. Now I'll just have to test it out going down the road to see if I do need the extra antenna on the back that they sent with it. If I don't need it, I'm not gonna put it up there, but if I start seeing lagging from the back camera, then I'll install it. It's not a big deal. But let me run through the monitor real quick and some of the menu settings. I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail. It's pretty self-explanatory, but I will show you just real quick. Okay, so right now we have the 3 views. This is my driver side, passenger side, and the back end. Now to switch views, I just hit the S button up here at the top. That'll give me channel 1, which is the driver side. Channel 2 is the passenger side. Channel 3 is probably for an auxiliary camera like over your entry door or something, which we do not have. And then channel 4 is the back camera. It would be nice to have the auto switching plugged in and working, but it's just a little bit more work than I'm ready to do at this point. I figure let me try it out this way for a while. If I notice that it becomes a pain, then I'll switch it. But it's not really that big a deal for me to be driving down the road and, like, if I'm getting ready to turn into the passenger side, just to click that a couple times and, you know, double check myself, make sure anything's coming down that way. Now the M button down here is the menu, and the plus and minus will scroll through it. I didn't have to do any pairing or anything of that nature. Only thing I had to do was mirror. When you go in to mirror, you have the option of having it like this, where you would be turned around looking, or you can flip it this way and it makes more like what you see in your mirror. You just see more of it. I think I like this view better because it's more like just looking in my side view mirror. So I'm going to actually go in and let's change. We have to go out of menu. Let me go to my driver's side camera. I want to do the same thing with it. So go to channel 1 and scroll over to mirror, enter. Now that is like looking in my mirror as well, rather than this here is like turning around and looking at it. So I think I like that way better. We'll play with it and see. You can adjust different things. Basically, you can go into the park lines and adjust those if you need to. I played with those a little bit earlier. It does have an SD card slot, so you can use this as basically a recording dash cam, which is kind of nice because if somebody rear ends you and you need proof, well, you've got proof. So this is the Haloview BT 7 Plus rear view camera and side view camera kit. So far, I absolutely love it. We will leave a link down in the description below where you can purchase this particular system or any of the Haloview products. Okay guys, that's going to wrap up this install video for the Haloview BT 7 Plus backup camera plus side cameras. Everything worked great. The install was super simple. The only issue I would say that I had on the back end was having to drill that hole out a little bit bigger to get that you know, the connection piece to fit in there. But other than that, it was just plug and play almost. And as far as the dash goes, the screen on the inside, I'm going to hook that up permanently. I think I'm going to run it to one of the aux switches actually. That way I can just flip the aux switch on when I want to power on the camera and turn it off when I don't. But for the time being, it's working. It's hot, and I'm going to take a break. So next week we will see you guys from Holder Mine Campground, where we did some off-roading. The RV is going in on Friday to have some warranty work done. Hopefully that doesn't take long. Hopefully we get it back in a day or two, and we can try these cameras out on the road and in a campground. I'm so excited to try them out backing into a campsite. Maybe Allie won't even have to get out of the truck. I don't know. We'll see.